This is going to be a step-by-step guide like you've not seen before to feelings to stop rushing the downswing. We're not talking about do this, do that, do this. We're talking about a feeling you can either do at home or the range, then a drill to hit some golf balls away with, and then how do you take it to the golf course. 3 of the most important steps to stop rushing the downswing, because there is nothing worse than stood here, it's all happened, the shot's gone errant, let's get this right. So we want that feeling of free-flowing, straighter shots, more enjoyment and more centered hits. The first stage to this is our drill, as I promised you. Now, what I think about drills is we've got to get something working for us. So what's our root cause of our problem? Now for me, most golfers, like you watching this video right now, if you are struggling with rushing the downswing, it's becoming too armsy. We're putting too much power on too early, and we've got a real surge and an urge to hit it. How do we get this fired up a little bit more? Place one alignment stick down the ground. Now, by the way, if you don't have any alignment sticks, just simply replace these with golf clubs, the ones on the ground. Most of us possibly have 2. And then I want one just roughly set off it from 45 degrees. Then I'm going to grab 2 more alignment sticks, and these are probably the 2 that you've got in a bag here. Place it across and through your belt, okay? And one across your chest. How can we now think about it this way? If we had a big heavy weight, and what I want you to do with this alignment stick here is place it in front of you like this, on your chest, down in front. If this is a big heavy weight and we wanted to back and through, and we had to throw this heavy weight as far as we could, we wouldn't get very far doing it just with the arms. We wouldn't throw it far at all. We'd have a little bit of momentum, we'd have a little bit of speed, and we'd have actually some good tilts and turns, but access this without even knowing. For me, that is the best form of golf instruction. Improving an asset or a facet of your game without even really knowing you are. So grab that alignment stick and one through here. Imagine this is a big heavy weight and I'm trying to throw it through. What I want you to do is swing it back. See that this alignment stick moves more than the red, so you can see that they're sort of crossed. And then we want to go through, driving the red and throwing the yellow. So look at the sequence I've got here. And we'll play a little bit of a slow-mo over this and just rock it. Look at this. So straight away, I am getting the feeling of the body being the main driving force of my golf swing, as opposed to the arm. So before we move on to the second point, what does that actually look like with a golf club in my hand? Well, that looks very much more like this, as opposed to this. Now you might feel good trying to hit it really hard, but actually you're probably not being as efficient as you could getting this. Think about what are bigger muscles. These and these, not these, especially not on me. Okay, so if we think about it logically, if we use everything as a combination, I always like to put something in percentages. If we become 80-20, not 20-80, everything's going to become a lot more simple. So that's our first stage. Let's now move on to the second phase of this, a bit of a hit drill for you to try. Now the next stage to this is a feeling for you to do some slow swings on. Now you don't need this attached to here, this is just simply so you can get a good understanding and see the analogy really. So what I want you to do is, I want you to imagine, you get to the top of the backswing, and we're all focusing about downswing today, to stop it rushing. That this piece of string, or this elastic, is attached to my left hip. And the only way that that can move is me working the lower half, linking it to the first drill. This is bringing it in nicely. Because if I move the arms first, this creates too much of a stretch on it in the wrong way. We don't want to create a stretch this way. I want you to create a stretch this way with moving these hips. So look at this at the top of the backswing. I'm going to address that golf ball. I'm going to swing it to the top okay? I don't want to create a stretch by moving this. That's where we get that feeling of really rushing and it's happened before we know it. What I want you to do is get that feeling of creating the stretch this way. And just to the best of your ability. So the hit drill, needs to take this off now. And when you've knotted it the way I have on there, to make sure it doesn't fall for you all, this could take 20 seconds. So placing this now down on the side, so after placing and getting that band off, placing it down the side, with 3 golf balls, I want you to do it this way. Or if you want to just do this as 1 golf ball and do it this way, we can do either or here. I'll do it with 1 because I think it's a good sort of analogy for you. Stand just inside your golf ball. So this is great actually for the course, or hopefully to start with on the driving range. To the top, slow swing, create the stretch. Second one, a little bit faster, okay? Until we get to the third one where we're just gonna simply hit it away, working with that simple swing thought of creating the stretch behind me because the lower half's moving, not because I'm throwing this power down from the top. Can't do that. We don't want to do that. We don't want to see that. Over the shot. Just create the stretch. We're in. Let's now move on to the final stage and taking this to the course. So we're now on the first tee, ready to go. How can we use all the assets of what we've spoken about today as stage 3 now to take this to the golf course? Now, before we get into this final stage, it's really important that you understand we've got some PDF guides attached to this, and also we have a weekly newsletter. So if you sign up to both of these down below, it's free. We'll notify you of all the top videos as well as all the PDFs. So make sure you do that to keep yourself informed on everything that's happening to help you improve. And I mean that. Okay, so on the first tee, how can we get some feelings? Boom. Grab your driver. Not before every shot, but maybe after 9 holes. So the first hole, after 9 holes then, get this out and remind you. Picture the alignment stick that's through here because we can't put that through on the course. What we can do though is, come on, just a couple of reps of this. This is allowing you to take it to the golf course now. Remind yourself of, how do you create smoothness? This. Now, this is the final piece to this puzzle. We want to be aware of technically what we want to do, so lower half up, so really feeling like our downswing starts from the ground up, and think of that as your process. But what I want you to do is I want you to think about, imagine this, you've got 5 gears in your car. On the golf course, I want you to stay in gear 4 at all times. There may be 1 or 2 instances every couple of rounds where you do go faster to gear 5. And I mean that every couple of rounds, not every single tee shot. All of us are guilty. Hit that thumbs up button if you're guilty of getting the driver out and we're thinking, ho, 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 let's give this a hit. Yeah, okay, it's good, it's enjoyable, but what's more enjoyable? Beating your mates, taking the pound off them? 100%. So feel like you're operating in that gear 4 on every tee shot. So I've got a clear, distinct swing thought. Feeling as though I'm in gear 4, smooth it away. And you can pose it, get that 3-pointer, enjoy your golf so much more. Thank you so much for watching today's daily tip. This is Sunday at the end of the week. We're getting so close to the Open now. Let's hear your predictions. Who do we think is going to be Open Champion 2021? I am going to go with, I've not thought about it. My heart says I want Fleetwood, but my head says it's someone like Jon Rahm or Justin Johnson, or even Jordan Spieth.